All right, here we are now with part 3 of the very weak Kimmel Biden interview. Um, Let me see really quick. This thing has 3.1 million views, and as you see, it has 72,000 likes. So, anyways, overall, 3.1 million views is not that much for something like a Jimmy Kimmel type thing. You know what I mean? Like for someone like me, that would be massive. But for something like Jimmy Kimmel, like, you should be able to get a lot more views than that. I mean, you get people like Shane Dawson who can get 20 million views, 40 million views. So come on, a syndicated late night show should be able to get tons of views. So 3.1 million is very low. So then I was thinking, I wonder what the like to dislike ratio is. I don't have dislikes shown here on my phone, but I do have it shown on my work computer. And I thought it was funny because at that time, the likes were less, but now they're at 72,000. But the last I knew, it was 169,000 dislikes. So I was like, oh, just as expected, because it's a two dickbags talking to each other. You've got an absolute loser of a president who does not care about this country at all and has made it clear on multiple occasions. He's basically a traitor, and the only reason he's able to stay in the office is because the whole entire everything is Democrat right now. So, of course, they're not going to do anything against him. He's with them. So they all get to be corrupt and such together. And then you got Kimmel, who's also a little shill. Back in the day with his man show, he would have been more, I don't know, I guess you could call him not liberal, but, he was a little bit more edgy and stuff. Now he's just a little shill. Oh, I got to do everything that the left says, everything that the liberals say. And then they conduct this ridiculously weak interview, probably all pre-screened questions, and this loser president that we have had all the answers ready to go. They wouldn't ever do that with Trump, though. Why can't they do that with this idiot? Oh, yeah, that's right, because he can't even speak ever. Anyways, let's continue on listening to this garbage.
Perfect sense. And the fact that this makes sense is why it doesn't make sense and why it seems so crazy and that we have so many problems and that maybe it's just that Americans aren't as knowledgeable as they should be. Or maybe there's a Death Star pumping false information into our brains.
Fox, right?
Or
No. First off, he said that American people aren't as knowledgeable of things as they should be. No, but that's the problem. We are, you idiot. You only listen to the nonsense that CNN and stuff pump out. And of course, this dickbag Fox, right? I used to hear all along, especially at my last company, everybody used to always make jokes about Fox News. And I didn't know. I wasn't really into the political sphere then. And I didn't know what Fox News meant. I thought it was like extreme crazy stuff like, what's his name? Alex Jones. And then I've been recently listening to Fox News, and I'm like, no, Fox News just says real life. It says what it is. It's not this nonsense that the left is the problem. They are producing tons of propaganda and not saying the truth and reality and such. And then they want to turn it around and act like Fox is the problem. It's not. Watch any Fox program. It tells you exactly the reality of everything. CNN don't. CNN was all about, oh, you gotta wear a mask. Oh, you gotta get vaxxed. Oh, this, oh, that. What's the reality of it? The masks basically did nothing. The vaccine does not work. But nope, the Fox News is the bad guys, right? Because they said it how it was. Unlike these fake news outlets that you're supposed to listen to, apparently. And if Fox News was so bad, why is it that CNN is plummeting in their views and they're almost going to go out of business not out of business, but a few of their shows are going to get canceled. And CNN Plus was an immediate failure, where on the flip side, Fox News is kind of, having a boom. Wonder why that would be. Must be because they're fake and they're the Death Star pumping misinformation.
maybe it's always been this way. I mean, here in LA, a small fraction of people voted in the primary yesterday. And then everybody wants to complain about everything. And it's just, it's enough already. And I think you need to start yelling at people. It's really...
What? Okay, first off, no, he doesn't need to start yelling at people. He tries to anyways, and it's just funny because he's a senior citizen who... I'm going to have to put some clips in here to show you what I'm talking about.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending or changing people's lives.
But you said that they would be sort of in the same camp.
No, I didn't say that. Look what I said. Go back and read what I said and tell me if you think I called anyone who voted on the side of the position taken by Bull Connor that they were Bull Connor.
And
that is an interesting reading of English. I assume you got into journalism because you like to write.
He's just a senior citizen that looks like an idiot who's just upset because his diaper's full and no one changed him yet and doesn't have his pudding ready. It's like, bro, shut your stupid fucking mouth. Second off, you can't just yell at everybody. Then that becomes a totalitarian regime. This is supposed to be well, it's not even a democracy, actually. They were supposed to be a constitutional republic, which means that the Constitution is the governing ruler, I guess, if you will, and then we just elect a figurehead that's supposed to represent us and our thoughts and wishes and all that. Well, this dickhead right here with the giant bald spot in my face does not represent us at all. With all his stupid energy, not getting gas anymore.
Directs the Secretary of the Interior to stop issuing new oil and gas leases on public lands and in offshore waters. No more subsidies for fossil fuel industry. No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends. Number one.
And inflation and worrying about Putin and Ukraine and blaming everything on Putin. Don't ever take blame for yourself that you're an absolute failure. Nope. It's Putin. Oh, inflation's because of Putin. Oh, gas prices are because of Putin. Oh, this is because I don't understand how any of that's Putin when it all started way before there was anything going on in Ukraine and in Russia.
The reason why gas prices are up is because of Russia. Russia. Mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. Gas didn't cause this problem. Vladimir Putin did. And we are working on to fix it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the little stickers on gas pumps all across the country illustrate the American people know exactly whose fault this is.
For one. And for two, how was gas because of Putin? From what I understood all along, it was the Middle East that we got our oil from. Now you're telling us we're getting it from Russia or something?
Here's what I think. Look, think about this. Look what impact the pandemic has had on people. It has had enormous impact, negative impact. Think of just your kids. How many of them got to go to a prom? How many had a graduation that got celebrated? How much has changed in terms of the relationships between people and how they interact with one another?
Yeah, no, that's a bunch of stuff I've been thinking about too. All those kids those past couple of years that got ripped off from their graduation. Prom, I don't really care. I didn't go to prom. Prom's not that big a deal. Yeah, everybody wants to act like it's that big a deal, but who really cares? It's just a weird dance that it's really only for the popular kids. If you're not popular, then there's really no point for you to even be there. But the graduation, those high schoolers, the 2020 class, 2021 class, they got ripped off. And it's like, they got ripped off why? Because of lies. I mean, I knew since April 2020, this was supposed to be the extreme beginning and the height of COVID, and I knew since then that COVID was nothing to be worried about. So this was my video I made. Apparently I made it back on June 17th, but regardless, I'm pretty sure, I didn't re-listen to this, but I'm pretty sure I'm talking about how since April, I was like, okay, this is not that scary. It's out there, so you can go check it out yourself too if you're interested. Back in 2020, just gotta scroll back a few of my videos. And yeah, we have to listen to those lies. Ooh, Dr. Dickbag Fauci, he says wear 10 masks and get this shot. We have to cancel school all the time for something that's no worse than a common cold, basically. I mean, seriously, I've had COVID 4 times. It's nothing. I'm still alive. I'm totally fine. It's ridiculous. And, all those people missed out on all that stuff. The stupid online learning. if you're a smart child, online learning's not that bad. But if you're a child with not learning disabilities, I don't mean to sound like you have actual mental disabilities, but I mean like if you have a little bit of trouble learning and you need a teacher there in front of you, well, now you're behind the curve because everything was online. And then think about how much this inconvenienced parents. We have to work and we rely on our kids being at school. Now you have to find someone to watch the kids. And it's like all this was predicated on some basically lies because these losers that this idiot represents, meaning the Democrats, the left side, they wanted to pump out this nonsense because there was some kind of benefit for them. Somehow there had to have been money involved, obviously, whether it's the scam for the vaccine or what have you. And yeah. So that's why everything had to be the way it was. Not because this stupid pandemic was actually a scary thing or anything. Nope, it's because this is what we want to do, so this is what we're going to do. Everybody just has to abide by what we say. Idiot. How old is this loser? 80? Hopefully he dies soon. I mean, then we'll be stuck with Kimmel, which is so much worse, but...
So much has changed. And we need... Vivek Murthy, the Surgeon General, talks about the need for significant mental health proposals relating to people who are feeling, not knowing where they're going, not knowing how to respond, not knowing how to act. And
extreme irony right there. Yes, you do need a lot of mental health interventions with individuals. But the funny thing is your side is embracing mental health issues, i.e. this transgender movement and all this. Those people that think that there's something that they're not have extreme mental health issues, okay? This was never a thing before. Now all of a sudden, I'm this. I'm a guy in a girl's body, or I'm a girl in a guy's body, or whatever nonsense you want to say. It's an extreme mental health issue, and yet instead of addressing it properly like they should, and getting these people help, nope, we're supposed to embrace it. Oh, congratulations, happy Pride Month, oh, you're coming out as a boy, oh, let's have a party. It's ridiculous, and then you get this dickhead talking about we need mental health. Yeah, how about you stand by that all the time? Nope, because when it comes to the transgender stuff, you're all for that. Oh, yeah, we support trans people.
Pride is back at the White House. From day one, this has been the most pro-equality administration in history, led by guys like Pete Buttigieg. And so many others. I think we have more LGBTQ plus people than any administration or every administration combined. No, I really mean it. I really mean it. Because I promised when I got elected, I wanted my administration to look like America. Look like America across the board. And we've done that. A record number of out and proud appointees at every single level of our government. You are understood. You do belong. And I want you to know that as your president, all of us on this stage have your back. We have your back. My order will use the full force of the federal government to prevent inhumane practices of conversion therapy. This is the first time. Advancing equality for liberation, for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex individuals. That's what I'm about to sign.
No, we don't, or at least not in that way. We shouldn't be supporting them in the sense of them doing their stupid surgeries. We should be supporting them in the sense of them getting the help that they clearly need. And not surgery. I mean actual mental help. See a psychologist.
So there's a lot we can do, but the bottom line is, I think that we've seen such a radical shift in one party, and
yeah, you mean your party? I know you're trying to say the Republicans, but it's not the Republicans. They're practically the same as they always were. Yeah, maybe they're a little more right than they used to be back in like Reagan's day or something, but at the end of the day, they're pretty much the same. Conservative people that just believe things should stay the same way as they are. Because it's worked, and it's fine, and it's the way it's supposed to be. It's your side that's extreme and just ridiculously out of touch with reality. You know, it's funny. your side believes that you can't define what a woman is because anybody can be a woman, and there's women with penises and all this nonsense.
A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
But then at the same time, Roe v. Wade gets overturned, and now everybody on your side knows what a woman is all of a sudden. But yeah, at the same time, you believe that a man can claim that he's stuck in a woman's body and be transgender, and even if he's straight up a guy still manly, like Leah Thompson, basically a guy with long hair, but we're supposed to call him she and all this, let him compete in women's sports. Like, you guys have turned extremely radical left. It's the Democrat Party, but nope, they want to act like it's the Republicans. Oh, one party has turned. No, they haven't. I mean, what? Are you trying to say because, the MAGA king, Trump MAGA king, all that is, anyways, is extreme patriotism and love for your country and wanting your country to succeed. There is nothing wrong with that. What you guys are pushing, there's a lot wrong with it. It's literal insanity. I mean, look at California. Where would you rather be, California or Florida? I think most people choose Florida because it's way more sane down there. Yeah, okay, there's the goofy people with their alligator wrangling and stuff, but the day-to-day functioning of the state, you got insane people in California, and then you have regular sane people in Florida. Huge difference there. One's a blue state, one's a red state. Huh. Wonder which party has gone so radical. It must be that red state, right? That's why people are happier there.
Of that party to that minority of the MAGA folks.
It's like we're living in two countries at once.
Yeah, and
it's
so,
like...
See, here we go. Like I said, the MAGA folks. Shut your stupid mouth, moron. And then this idiot, it's like we're living in two countries at once. Yeah, because you stupid lefties are pushing extremeness. Like, it's funny because they act like they're the majority or something, but they are severely a minority. It's 10% of the population that thinks this nonsense that they think. That means 90% of the people think like, as they're trying to say, when the party went to the extreme. No, it's 90% of the population thinks normal, and it's you 10% that think like absolute freaks. But for some reason, your agenda is at the forefront, and you're trying to make the 90% majority sound like we're the bad guys. Makes sense.
But you can be. But
I've never been more optimistic in my life, though. Tell you why.
Why are you so optimistic?
No,
it makes no sense.
No, it does. Look at the kids. Look at the young people. Best educated, least prejudiced, most giving generation in American history. Turn on the television.
What are you talking about? Best generation, blah, blah, in American history. I feel like things are going down the tubes nowadays. This newest generation, was it Gen Z or something? They are absolutely insane. They're the hugest problem right now because they're all the ones with this tranny nonsense and stuff. And all this blue-haired and, I don't need to work, I deserve to just get money just because I exist and all this. The best generations probably was like World War II era when those, everything was better then. So, yeah, I know there was World War II. But I just mean like there was better leadership and more stability in the country, like sanity-wise and stuff. And like the people that went to fight in the war had pride in their country. Like, there's no pride in this country now, especially not under this loser. Under Trump there was, not under this loser. And then like the optimistic. How can you be optimistic? Yeah, I guess in a sense I agree with you. How can anybody on the Democratic side be optimistic? Because once the midterms come and 2024 comes, you guys are totally gonna get annihilated. The only way you're not is if you cheat, which hopefully there's going to be safeguards around that. Like the Republicans and stuff are working on preventing any kind of cheating. That way then real results can show up, and you guys are going to be destroyed because nobody agrees with your nonsense.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having us on.
All right, John, let's start with you. Why did you say, you know what, I've been a Democrat my whole life, I'm done, the party moved past me?
Well, in fact, the Democrats are now leaving that party in droves because of the socialistic agenda that has taken place in the Democratic Party. They're totally anti-American. There was nowhere for people who thought and felt like I did about the virtues and values and morals of being a good American. It was time to leave. They have destroyed the Democratic Party now.
Yeah. Mick, you're in West Virginia. You were a Democrat and now are a Republican. There are a lot of people across the country who would like to see Joe Manchin, who is a Democrat in your state, go Republican, but so far he has not. Why'd you switch parties?
Well, this has been coming for some time, and I'm not a lifelong Republican. I'm not even a lifelong American. I'm an immigrant to this country, a naturalized citizen, originally registered as an independent, became a Democrat because everybody was a Democrat. All my friends and neighbours, the people I went to church with, that's kind of who you were. But the rest of the country is now doing what's been going on in West Virginia for some time, and shifting away from a party that most of the people I know just can't identify with. It's probably getting worse, not better. So I wouldn't hold your breath as far as Joe Manchin switching. But, in my district, the areas that I represent, there's been about a 30-point swing, about 30% change from Democrat to Republican over the course of the last 3 years.
Turn on it. No, I'm serious.
Right, there's something to that. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. You turn on the TV, look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you saw the way, people are selling products. They do ads to sell products, and they sell products when they appeal to people. This generation is going to change everything.
What is this idiot talking about? When was the last time you saw biracial couples? All the time.
Mom.
Yes, honey?
Dad told me that Cheerios is good for your heart. Is that true?
Says here that Cheerios has whole grain oats that can help remove some cholesterol, and that's heart healthy.
I've been seeing this since I was in 10th grade. He's making it sound like this is some new thing that just started happening this year. I've been doing that for years. Or movies, they've been having marriages like that with the characters, or what are you trying to say? Does this moron think it's 1950 still or something? What are you trying to... What kind of point was that? That was stupid. Oh, turn on the TV. And then you see... Yeah, you've been seeing that. That's nothing new.
Just got to make sure we don't give up. There's an ability for us to do everything from increase the access to education, healthcare. Look what we did in healthcare. All the talk about it. I was able to reduce people's bills about $400 a month.
It has changed people's lives for the better. No question
about it. So there's a
it.
lot of major things we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect.
All right, a couple things right there. First off, you're talking about, we haven't been able to communicate things in a way that's... And then, of course, you stumble and can't finish your sentence. Well, there's the problem why nothing's been communicated. Because you don't know how to communicate.
Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness. Or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're... No, I really mean it. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon, or whatever, something, or, whether those aliens are here or not. Because if you could take care, if you were a quartermaster, you can sure and hell take care of running a, department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies' department or whatever. You know what I mean?
Of course things aren't being communicated. You can't. How are anybody supposed to know what's going on when you get up to a microphone and you stumble the whole time, and then as soon as you're done with your pre-written speech, you run away and don't answer any questions?
Well, we've seen it time and time and time again. President Biden reading from prepared marks, then turning his back on reporters and just walking away without answering any of the shouted questions. And there were a lot of them. He did it again yesterday after he spoke about the supply chain crisis. Watch.
Thank you very much.
No comment.
Mr. President, can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you drive away?
No, you can't. Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it.
Huh. I wonder why there's no communication. Huh. Second off, there you go again, doing your famous thing. You can't even finish your sentence. Let me put it another way. There is no other way to put it, you idiot. Maybe if you didn't have Alzheimer's and you weren't a worthless 80-year-old, you'd be able to speak right. At the end of the day, anyways, even though you are a worthless 80-year-old, I'm only hating on you so much because you're trying to hold a big, huge office. You chose this for yourself. You know, you should have chosen to be retired, living in a nursing home, having an easy life, but you chose to take this on. So you know what? Fuck you. And then as far as Jimmy goes, of course, for some reason, he finished the, oh, see, that's pretty perfect. What are you talking about is pretty perfect? This idiot didn't even finish his sentence. And here we go, though. This is what we're all talking about with how he's just softballed this interview, I mean. Like, you should not have acted like what he just said was fine. A real interviewer would have been like, what are you trying to say right now? You didn't even finish your sentence. Now you're trying to change course and say, let me say this a different way? There is no other way to say it. You started saying it a certain way, finished saying it that way. Like, what's the matter with you? Nope, he just goes along with, oh yeah, everything's fine. Yep, this is good. Yeah, I'm going to support this. We're going to act like what you just said made sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we haven't been able to communicate
but
it.
But look how the press has changed. Mm-hmm. Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you get you.
Look how the press has changed. What, you mean the press secretary stuff? Yeah, it's changed for the worse now, because now you get a bunch of idiots up there that are constantly lying, whether it's Saki's always lying, or it's Jean, whatever her name is now, which... severely underqualified for the position. Oh, it's just that she's a black immigrant lesbian woman, so she hits 4 checkboxes, so that's why we put her in that position. Does she have any qualifications for it? Nope, but we don't care about qualifications. We care about being able to check off some boxes. Just like that stupid tranny guy, Rachel Levine, doing whatever he's doing. Oh, he's a trans woman, so that's why he gets there. Or Pete Buttigieg, completely worthless, but oh, he's gay, so he gets to be a checkbox for us. Don't do anything based on qualifications. Don't just do it on a checkbox, because that makes sense. That's the best way to go about doing things. Same as this loser that's in the executive office now. You know, oh, he just wasn't Trump. He doesn't say he doesn't send tweets that are just real, because, you know, people can't handle real. Oh, that's mean. Ugh. Is it mean? No, it's just the way it is. He's not being mean. He's just saying it how it is. If you don't like how it sounds, then change the situation. Make it sound better. Then when he tweets about it, it will sound better, because he'll be saying it how it is. Nope, it's just easier to cry and complain. And then put this loser in the office because it's not Trump. That's the only reason why I voted for him. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have a...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I forgot their question. So, yeah, the press. When you're at the press secretary's meeting, you have one guy that asks real questions, Peter Doocy. And did they ever answer him? Nope. They just give him the stupid, usual, beat around the bush nonsense. Oh, let me come up with a lie on the spot. Or let me just circle back to you. Or, oh, well, I wasn't in the meetings with the president, so I don't know what his thoughts are at this moment. Because forbid if we say any kind of truth.
I mentioned earlier, he's meeting today with people installing offshore wind equipment, but not oil and gas CEOs who are rarely ever in town, but they are today. So how did that help lower gas prices?
Well, the president has done a, so let me step back for a second.
But no. With offshore wind
you're asking me.
Not with gas.
You're asking me the question.
CEOs, how does that lower gas prices? You said he's done everything in his power. Why is there a voicemail of the president talking to his son about his overseas business dealings if the president has said he's never spoken to his son about his overseas business dealings?
Well, first I'll say that what the president said stands. So if that's what the president said, that is what stands. And secondly,
about a New York Times article concerning Hunter Biden's business dealings, and he says, "I think you're clear." How is that not him talking to his son about his overseas business dealings?
We're not, from this podium, I am not going to talk about alleged materials from the laptop.
So are you disputing the president's voice on the voicemail?
I am not going to talk about alleged materials on the laptop.
Are
it's
you
not
disputing
happening.
Then that it is not?
Peter, I refer you to his son's representative.
We can only answer pre-screened, pre-selected questions.
Even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news. Mm-hmm. So instead of asking a question, anyway, it just everything gets.
Here we go again, switching up. What were you gonna say, dickhead? Instead of asking the question, anyways. What is that supposed to mean? What are you trying to censor? Or did you just forget your train of thought already?
Sensationalized in ways that, but I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more, if you don't
blame
mind.
you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we have some...
That's actually kind of funny, accidentally. Like, this loser is supposed to be our president. You know, one of the the top-ranking official of our country, also known as the most worthless, apparently, during this administration. But it's just funny that some stupid reporter, or not reporter, what is he, host, television late-night show host, can cut him off and go to a commercial. Yeah, you're real powerful, dickhead over there. You know, dickhead Biden. You're super powerful. A real president would have been like, motherfucker, there's no commercials in this episode. You're here with me, and then you have your commercials when I'm gone. Got it? Not this moron. What? Okay. I need a fresh diaper anyway.
Some of those commercials. We have some biracial commercials we need to show. We'll be back. We are back with the President of the United States. Just a process question. When you have sensitive documents that you need to flush down the toilet, do you do that? Is that done in your office toilet, or is that done in the bathroom, in the personal bathroom area?
I call Trump.
What is that even supposed to mean? When you, like, call Trump. Oh, is that because you don't know how to do anything, so you need an actual strong leader to help you tell you what to do? That makes sense. Yeah, you would need to call him.
I haven't. You know, everybody talks about, sensitive documents and the like. I don't destroy anything, but one of the things that I spent more time...
You don't? Then what happened with Hunter's laptop? It's weird.
Xi Jinping than any other head of state. And I'd always be, when I traveled with him 17,000 miles, spent 78 hours with him, they tell me, all told. And I'd have a consecutive interpreter, and he'd have one. And the difference between when I would do that and others would do it, I always handed in all my notes.
You got to hand in your notes.
Hand in my notes.
I always handed in all my notes. You didn't take notes, idiot. You were given notes.
Well, our favourite, the leader of the free world, he's created a stir again by displaying to the whole world just how feeble and uncertain he is, and how every little public utterance and move needs to be carefully managed. Have a look at this briefing in the White House and note what Joe Biden has in his hands.
The phrase that I found noticeable was, there's a difference between states that say may and say shall. If you have to say you shall give, you shall do A, B, C, they're the ones that are going to have problems. But most say may. I mean, may and I got it reversed, may and shall.
Yeah, it's all about that card the president has in his hands. It's his note from staffers telling him what to do at the event.
As they zoomed in closer, let's look at it, because those things written on this says you in capital letters. Enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to participants. You take your seat. Press enters. You give brief comments, 2 minutes. Press departs. You ask Liz Schuler, president is. So it goes through all of his very step-by-step things, from how much he even takes his seat to ask certain questions, to thanking people, to moving, to standing up, and then departing.
You know, telling you exactly what to do. You go over here, you do this, because, forbid if you have a functioning brain. Always handed in my notes. You didn't take notes. What do you mean, some doodles? You had to handle in your doodles because you weren't paying attention and you were just drawing, so they took your doodles so then they could destroy it before anybody found out that you're just sitting there scribbling like a moron?
We learned that in school, that's theoretically. Right.
You don't learn that in school. You take notes for yourself to bring home and study. What? We learned that in school? To turn in your notes? No, you turn in your homework. You turn in your test. Your notes are for you. Forever. I probably still have notes from when I was in grade school. You don't turn in your notes.
Versus Wade. Boy, these things just keep coming at you, don't they? I mean, there's no, you have not had an easier, what a terrible job you have. I mean.
No, not what terrible job you have, just what a terrible job you have done. You forgot a word. Most worthless president of all time. Probably of all time. Definitely of recent history. Let's say from like the 60s on. But possibly of all time as well.
But I'm glad you're doing it, but boy, oh boy, does this seem like a bad gig.
It's I think if the court overrules.
You can't really task him if he's got a bad gig or not, because he doesn't know what's going on. He has everything pre-screened for him, pre-scripted for him. He's just a figurehead. He just walks out there. Oh, you want me to read this script? Okay, and I read it. Okay, I'm done. So now I can't answer any interviewers. I just gotta turn around and run away to the nearest door, and that's it. He's basically the Mandalorian from Iron Man 3, Trevor.
Where's the Mandarin? Where is it? Whoa. He's here. He's here, but he's not here. My name's Trevor Slattery.
What are you? What are you, decoy? You're a double, right?
What, not understudy? No, absolutely not. Don't hurt the face. I'm an actor.
You got a minute to live. Fill it with words.
Just a role. The Mandarin. See, it's not real.
He was just a figurehead. He read a script, it was recorded, and then after that, he did his own thing, took a dump in the bathroom, the women went in there and thought it smelled bad, and that's this idiot. You're the Mandalorian. You're just a fake figurehead.
Roe v. Wade and does what it's draft.
What we fear they will.
Well, if that occurs, I think we have to legislate it. We have to make sure we pass legislation making it a law that is the federal government says this is how it works.
In another situation where most of the country is on the same page, something like 64% of Americans do not want to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
And it's just going to be the beginning, by the way.
There's a few things here. One thing I've always wondered is how did the Roe v. Wade draft get leaked? Like, that's the Supreme Court. Shouldn't that be very secure? How did that get leaked? But the other thing is, this interview was before Roe v. Wade was overturned. Now we know it actually was overturned. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. All these people crying about Roe v. Wade being overturned, and it's like, first off, they're treating it like abortion is the only option for child's preventative care, but it's not. There's condoms, there's birth control, there's Plan B, there's getting surgery, whether you're a male to get a vasectomy or a woman, you can get your tubes tied, whatever that's called. There's a ton of options. Now, I know getting your tubes tied is a little tricky, because if you don't have, I think you need to have one of each kid before they'll do that, but still, there's other options. They act like an abortion's the only option, and like, oh my god, we don't have anything now. Second, Roe v. Wade was determined by the Supreme Court, which is supposed to be for constitutional issues. Well, the right to an abortion is not constitutional. That has nothing to do with the Constitution. So all this does by overturning it is it brings it down to the states level, which is exactly where it should be. So I still don't see what the problem is. There is no problem. It's how it should be. It's where it should be. And then, like, also, that's the other thing. All these people that really are complaining about this, they're just a bunch of people that don't need to worry about it. It's either the women on The View, which are what, 60? They're crying about it. Like, what are you crying for? That it's been overturned. You plan on getting pregnant soon? I'm pretty sure you've had menopause 10 years ago. Like, you can't get pregnant. So, second, it's liberal leftist freaks that aren't getting dick anyways because they're so anti-men. You know, this new wave feminism, they're so anti-men that you're not even getting dick. So, what are you worried about? You can't get pregnant if you're not getting dick. Like, seriously?
You know, there used to be a case called Connecticut versus Griswold.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it.
Well, you know, but all kidding aside.
Is that from the National Lampoon Vacation movie?
Why did this moron just say, all kidding aside? Nobody was joking. He just said, I'm very familiar with that. And then he made a joke after the fact, but like, what?
But Connecticut versus Griswold said that you could not use contraception in the privacy of your own bedroom because in the Constitution there was no right to privacy. And so they could outlaw, and if you used contraception, it was against the law. You couldn't purchase contraception. And, you know, there's a whole range of things that are at stake here when we talk about eliminating Roe v. Wade and all the flows.
Okay, but Roe v. Wade doesn't get rid of that Connecticut versus Griswold thing. You still have contraception, which is what I just said. Everybody's freaking out like there's no other options. There is. It's just Roe v. Wade was at the federal level, which it shouldn't have been. It should always have been at the state level.
Marriage.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, in my view. And I don't think the country will stand for it, but I think what we're going to have to do, there's some executive orders I could employ. We believe we're looking at that right now. But I want to keep
employ them.
But look, it's clear that if in fact the decision comes down the way it does, and these states impose the limitations they're talking about, it's going to cause a mini revolution. They're going to vote a lot of these folks out of office. We got to keep it focused.
No, they're going to vote a lot of your folks out of office, stupid. You know, the left thinks that they're so much in the right, ironically how that sounds, in the right as in like they're the correct side of things. But at the end of the day, nobody supports your crap. Like, you guys are going to get going. So you think, oh, they're going to vote any Republicans out. No, they're not. The Republicans are going to take over, stupid.
Democrats are in some serious trouble right now because in our new NBC News poll, just 16% say the country's headed in the right direction, while a whopping 75% say we're on the wrong track. In fact, that wrong track number has been 70 plus for 7 months, which in the past has signaled big losses for the governing party. President Biden's numbers have hit a new low. Only 39% approve of his job performance against 56% who disapprove. Here's another warning sign for Democrats. Voters are split over who they want controlling Congress, 46-46. That sounds close, but for what it's worth in 2010, Republicans had just a 2-point lead on this question nationally, and they wound up gaining 6 Senate seats and 63 House seats.
New York Times and Siena College is showing a shift away from President Biden among Democratic voters. The poll shows 64% of Democratic voters do not want Mr. Biden to be renominated in 2024, with just 26% wanting to see him as the party's candidate again. Among voters, younger voters, 18 to 29 years old, 94% of Democratic voters want a different candidate in the next presidential election.
We take a look at the polls, a new low for President Biden, his approval hitting just 40% in a brand new Fox poll. Almost 60% of Americans say they disapprove of the job he's doing. This is basically a reversal of where he stood just 1 year ago. Now, if we break out independents for a closer look, just 27% of them say the president is doing a good job. That is a 15-point drop in just over a year. Analysts say a lot of that decline is likely fueled by voters who are fed up with record high inflation.
If they overrule Roe v. Wade in the state, California won't do it.
What did he say? Roe v. Wade?
But other states say that you cannot do the following. It's a law. You can't cross the border. You can't, all the things that some states have.
The other thing, too, is this becomes a state's issue, and it's funny because, like, they're crying now with Roe v. Wade, but, like, states have already been doing their own thing anyways. What was it? Arkansas or one of those southern states, they already came up with, like, extreme anti-abortion laws as it is before Roe v. Wade was overturned. So, like, they're worrying about something that, again, it makes no difference. Who cares that Roe v. Wade's overturned? All these precautions, all these measures have already been happening when Roe v. Wade was still in place.
And you got to make sure that you vote. You got to vote and let people know exactly what the devil you think.
Yep, which is that we don't agree with you. That's why there's going to be a massive red wave come November. And goodbye, motherfucker, come 2024. You and all your cronies. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have to vote for people who are fighting for this country and not just reacting to these horrible things because we...
Yes, exactly. Holy crap, you couldn't have said it better. Only thing is, you're saying it in the wrong context, but what you're saying does apply exactly to what I'm going to say, and it's that people need to vote for things that matter, not what these stupid Democrats are doing. These Democrats are just destroying the country and making our lives harder for no reason, because, there is a reason. It benefits them. But, yeah, instead of just reacting like they did electing this dickbag because, Trump was mean. Yeah, well, everything was so much better under him, so...
Should have done something about gun violence a long time ago. The climate is something we could all look back at these days and go, oh, my God.
But we have made some progress there. There was 560,000, but it's moving. It's moving. My mother used to say, out of everything bad, something good will come if you look hard enough for it. So the reduction on the use of oil.
He goes with his dumb quotes again. Oh, my mother said this. It usually is my father. Now it's my mother. Do you even remember them?
also increases the need to find alternatives.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going over to the quote G7, the 7 largest economies in the world.
That's right. This thing he was talking about, I'm gonna go to, and then what happened at the G7? Of course, he totally screwed that up, like always. No surprise there.
The White House had to correct a bizarre line in which Biden said most people don't know what COVID is.
I know you all know, but a lot of people may not know what COVID is.
The White House said he meant to say COVAX, a global vaccine program. Biden drew laughs from world leaders after he prompted UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to introduce the President of South Africa, which Johnson had already done seconds earlier.
Just a minute. And the President of South Africa. And the President of South Africa, as I said earlier. Oh, you did? I did not. I certainly did.
And meeting in Germany in a couple weeks.
Well, we're looking hard for the good things, and we're glad you're looking hard for the good things, too.
Okay, first off, if you're looking hard for the good things, it's called Republican. You need Republican in there, not these losers. You're never going to get anything good from these losers. Second thing, he says, I'm glad you're looking hard. This dickbag's not looking for anything. He does not care about the American people. He is basically a traitor in this office, running the country, but is a huge traitor. He does not care about this country at all. He is not looking for anything to benefit us. You know, he's at the mindset that, gas prices can be expensive because if you want to drive a fuel-powered vehicle, well, that's your punishment. Majority of the people have a fuel-powered vehicle in this country, but we all need to be punished because we don't have electric cars. This dickhead is not looking out for us at all. At all. Like, don't try to pretend, stupid Jimmy.
We can do this. This
all
is
right.
the United States of America. We can do it.
I hope you're right.
I really mean it.
President Biden, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, well, that was it. And I hope you enjoyed that video. No, it sure didn't. It was you being a soft little weak wuss talking to this senior citizen who just lies all the time and does not care about this country at all. Worst president by far. Luckily, Jimmy Carter's still alive to see somebody who is esteemed as worse than him, so that's pretty cool. It's so insane that this loser's president, too, because I was looking at back in 1988 when he was trying to run for president, and, he just does not give off presidential vibes.
Last weekend, that no one knows me, Senator Joseph Biden of Delaware today became the 5th Democrat to declare he's seeking the party's presidential nomination. Lim Tucker has our report.
In 1988, the clarion call for my generation is not, it is our turn, but rather, it is our moment of obligation and opportunity.
He is Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. from Delaware, 44 years old, 14 years in the U.S. Senate, Chairman Judiciary Committee, a Democrat who calls himself a pragmatic liberal. He has a reputation as maybe the best orator in the Senate, but a long-winded one. And he is criticized by some in his party for being a senator and candidate of themes, not substance. Biden rejects that criticism, but today, oratory and themes were very much on display.
And for a decade led by Ronald Reagan, self-aggrandizement has become the full-throated cry of this society. I've got mine, so why don't you go get yours?
His weak points are a lack of legislative record, a somewhat skeptical acceptance as to whether he has ideas as big as his words or his mouth.
Biden comes in behind most other Democrats in the early polls, but has assembled a well-respected staff, and more importantly, has raised far more money than any of his competitors. Lem Tucker, CBS News, Wilmington.
It makes sense that he never won before, and he still should not have won. Look how worthless he is. He doesn't know how to do the job. I mean, he basically isn't doing the job anyways. Like I said before, he's just a shadow figure. Someone else is pulling the strings, and he's just there to be the face. He's the Mandalorian from Iron Man 3. He doesn't have any power or authority. Nobody respects him or takes him seriously. He's a decrepit senior citizen. An embarrassment to this country. Anyways, I guess that's all I got. Fuck this loser over here on the right, and until whatever comes next, I said see ya.
Fuck Biden, they gon' try to censor this one, yeah. Fuck Biden, stop whispering in little kids' ears. Fuck Biden, he been making this shit worse all year. Fuck Biden, he don't love America and it's clear. What's worse than a liar, than a cheater, than a thief? Look it up, there's proof that he's all three. Fuck Biden, you soft, you making us look weak. Fuck Biden, always looking like a pedophile creep. Holy shit.